On March 3, 2026, Seth Rollins walked into the Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis without medical clearance, without an announcement, and without an invitation. And by the time he left, Paul Heyman was bleeding from the face and riding in an ambulance driven by someone the Vision never saw coming. This is everything that happened that night and everything you need to understand about why it matters. To make sense of Monday night, you have to go back to October 2025. Rollins went to Crown Jewel and faced Cody Rhodes, and somewhere in that match he tore his rotator cuff. Surgery followed, and just like that, the founder of the Vision was out of the picture. What happened next, on the Raw after Crown Jewel, was the kind of betrayal that reframes everything. Braun Breaker hit Rollins with a spear, Bronson Reed followed with a tsunami, and Paul Heyman, the man Rollins had brought in as the oracle of the entire operation, looked at the situation and chose the other side. He walked away, and Rollins was left on the mat alone. The faction kept moving without him. Logan Paul came aboard in December. Austin Theory joined too. By early 2026, the Vision had rebuilt itself around new pieces, and Rollins was watching from the outside with a shoulder that needed more time to heal. But here is where the Elimination Chamber changed the math entirely. Rollins showed up in Chicago disguised under a mask, walked into that chamber match, stomped Logan Paul, and pulled the disguise off his own face. He was back, he was angry, and WrestleMania season now had a problem that the Vision had not planned for. 3 days after Elimination Chamber, Raw opened with the Vision walking to the ring together, and Heyman took the microphone with full confidence. He went directly at Rollins, and his words carried no ambiguity. He told the crowd, "I hate that freaking song, and I hate Seth Rollins. Seth stole the credit from co-founding this group from me. Seth stole the credit for co-founding The Shield. Seth stole the Elimination Chamber and stole the main event of WrestleMania from Logan Paul." Logan Paul backed every word of it, telling the crowd he had eliminated 3 competitors inside the chamber before Rollins interfered, and that the last person to pull off a performance like that was Brock Lesnar. That is the company he said he keeps. Heyman closed with a line that, in hindsight, aged about 15 minutes. Seth steals oxygen from every individual on this planet worthy of living. The next time he is in a WWE ring, we will stomp his ass out. That is not a prediction or a spoiler. It is a personal guarantee from the group. Raw GM Adam Pearce came out and acknowledged their frustrations while accusing the Vision of injuring Jey Uso the previous Friday on SmackDown. Pearce added a specific warning: if Seth was somewhere in that building, something destructive was going to happen. Heyman fired straight back: "We had nothing to do with Jey, but we will plead guilty in advance of what we do to Seth." The confidence in that room was total, and that confidence is exactly what Rollins used as a weapon. What followed was not a brawl. It was a carefully built trap, and Rollins had been laying the groundwork for weeks. A masked man appeared from the crowd, and WWE security chased him off. A second showed up, and Logan Paul peeled away from ringside to go after him. A third emerged from a different direction, and Austin Theory followed. One by one, every piece of protection the Vision had was drawn out of the ring and away from the building's center, each member chasing a decoy that Rollins had positioned in advance. That left Heyman standing alone in the middle of the ring, with no muscle, no backup, and no exit that wasn't already covered. A masked figure started walking down the entrance aisle toward him, and Heyman did what any sensible person in that position would do. He started tweeting, trying to talk his way out, focused entirely on the man coming toward him from the front. None of that mattered, because the real threat had already climbed onto the ring apron behind him. The man on the aisle was a distraction. The man with the steel chair at his back was Seth Rollins. Rollins brought the chair down across Heyman's back, then delivered the curb stomp, driving Heyman face first into the mat. Commentary noted in real time that Rollins still had no medical clearance to compete, and by the time that sentence was finished, Rollins had already vanished back through the crowd.
Medical staff reached Heyman and found him bleeding from the nose. By the time they walked him out of the arena, the blood had spread across his entire face. Outside the building, personnel loaded Heyman into a waiting ambulance, and Logan Paul and Austin Theory moved toward the vehicle to get to their oracle. That is when Jimmy Uso appeared and attacked Austin Theory, cutting him completely off. The ambulance door swung open to reveal the driver, and it was LA Knight, who has spent months building a personal rivalry with the Vision. Knight pulled the door shut and drove away with Paul Heyman, and as of the time of this video, WWE had released no update on his condition. Now pull back from that scene and look at what the Vision actually has left.